Never swim in the Kolyma River. My name is Theodore Draniski, or Ted Dranis for short. I am a 19-year-old 6'7" pure Slav Drevny Rusarian with flowing blonde hair and a perfect Norwood zero hairline. I am writing this so none of you fellow Soyim make the same mistake I did. It all started when my piece of shit mom and dad dragged me on some nobody cares vacation to East Siberia. They said it would be nice to get some fresh air away from the city, which is just a giant open-air zoo full of mongoloids, sea monkeys, and brap-fueled clouds, courtesy of our Zionist politicians, turning every last frog poster into a gay bait-spamming shit-skinned tranny nigger. I do not work or go to college because I refuse to give 99.99% of my paycheck straight to Mossad. We were driving to some rented cabin while I was forced to listen to Kamagroid Zigger music blasting through the car speakers, aping my ears the entire time. I was deep on the shorty when I saw some threads claiming Kuz, the old admin, was still alive somewhere in Siberia. I laughed it off as Kolbait only 20 Ignusois fall for. Eventually we reached the cabin. My shitty Motorola, the kind only niggers in third world countries still use, had 0 bars! I gave up refreshing the soy board and decided to hike up a hill to hunt for signal. After 10 minutes of walking, I finally got 1 bar. The page took 67 billion minutes to load, but it was something. From the top of the hill, I could see a 5G tower on the other side of the valley, and a disgusting brown river that looked like it had been used as a toilet by every Pajit in a 500-kilometer radius. The water was thick and oily, swirling with what looked like chunks of human waste and old Middle Eastern flags floating like dead fish. I did not care. I needed to post, so I started walking down toward the riverbank. The closer I got, the worse the smell became. It was like being locked in a room with 1,488 unwashed Pajits eating Takis and brapping at full volume. The stench so heavy it made my eyes water and my throat burn. That should have been my sign to turn back, but I was desperate. I looked for a shallow crossing. About 400 meters downstream, I spotted a shit-stained mud hut village on the opposite bank. The place looked abandoned yet somehow alive with evil. Every single mud hut was crumbling, roofs caved in, walls covered in dried feces and trash piles that reached up to my waist. As I got closer, I could see epi-posters and giant stars of David spray painted on every single building. The paint still dripping like fresh cum. My clitty started leaking like crazy. I remembered I had my lighter with me. Fuck it, I thought. I am not letting these pedo-groomer Mossad bootlickers ruin my Aryan Zigger life any longer. I stripped down and waded into the Kolyma River. The water was pure excrement. Thick, warm, and chunky like diarrhea soup that had been left in the sun for weeks. It clung to my skin like slime, forcing its way into every pore. I almost vomited multiple times while swimming across, the taste of it hitting the back of my throat with every desperate stroke. When I finally crawled out on the other side, all the skin that had touched the water had turned a dark, muddy brown, like I had been dipped in liquid shit. I tried scrubbing it off with handfuls of dirt, but nothing worked. Whatever. I figured I would shower back at the cabin. Before I could even spark the first mud hut, I heard wet braps right behind me. I turned around and there they were. 13 3-foot 4-inch brown niggers with massive hook noses and yarmulkes, all pointing AK-47s at me. One of them grinned with gold teeth and said in broken Jeep babble, "Sar, me take you to our master, Snow Bunny." They marched me at bayonet point through the fecal village and down into a basement under one of the largest huts. The stairs were slick, with what I prayed was just mud. What I saw inside made my Aryan blood freeze. Dozens of shitskins were packed into a humid, stinking room lit by flickering fluorescent lights, the air so thick with sweat and cum you could barely breathe. They were furiously posting tranime bait on the shardy, drawing foodist fan art of fat femboys, and masturbating so hard their neo-vaginas were making wet-slapping sounds that echoed off the concrete walls. The stench was so bad, I projectile vomited on the floor. One of the creatures immediately scooped up my vomit and started rubbing it into his gaped boy pussy, while moaning like a bitch in heat. Israeli, MAP, and trans pride flags hung from every wall, soaked in what looked like years of dried bodily fluids. Then a brown door at the far end creaked open. Green fog poured out like toxic gas. When it cleared, there he stood, Yuri Kuznetsov himself, in the flesh, his face pale and twisted under the dim light. He looked at me, frowned, then barked at the shitskins behind me. "This one is too old to be Mifuta slave." An argument exploded in a mix of Kike, Jeet, and nigger gibberish. The only words I could make out were cuz repeatedly screaming low IQ animals
and subhuman cattle. His ears and nose started bleeding from pure rage at how stupid they were, blood dripping down his chin like some kind of demon. While they were distracted, I slowly backed toward the door. Nobody noticed. I slipped out, sprinted back to the river, and dove in. Every single stroke I took, I felt myself shrinking. 1 inch, 2 inches. My once 6'7" frame was collapsing in on itself, bones cracking and reforming smaller with each desperate kick through the filth. By the time I reached the middle, I could barely keep my head above the shit water. My arms grew weak and child-sized. I blacked out. I woke up in some illegal migrant hospital bed. My hands were Vanta black. A Foy doctor in a hijab started speaking to me in Swahili, and to my horror, I understood every word. She told me Border Patrol fished my body out of the Kolyma River and that I was being deported back to Somalia in 3 days. I tried to explain everything. Nobody believed me. My phone was gone. 1 day later, after choking down my daily bowl of goislop, I used my brand new nigger hands to steal a nurse's phone. This is the only warning I can give. Kuz never died from AIDS. It was a cover-up. He was working for Mossad this whole time, to slowly groom soy teens into becoming trans, to reduce the white male population. I thought only Chud believed this. If you are reading this, I am probably already dead from nigger AIDS in some Mogadishu shithole. Whatever you do, Soyam never swim in the Kolyma River. You have been warned.